Thank you, Mr. President. Honorable Malema.
Thank you very much, Comrade President. Firstly, I want to thank you for according Comrade Tito official funeral, because when it comes to us that side, we always struggle. I still struggle with the fact that Peter Mokaba was never accorded a state funeral. And I'm happy that you gave it to Comrade Tito, well-deserving a Category 2 state funeral. President, we must appreciate the role that you have played when it comes to International Court of Justice and the fact that South Africa mobilized the international community in support of the Palestinian question. We appreciate that the Pact for the Future has got progressive resolutions in relation to Palestine. And this parliament, in line with Pact of the Future, took a resolution that we must close the Israeli embassy and cut all diplomatic ties with Israel. Till to date, you are so reluctant to implement that decision. And the one behind you, in the name of the Speaker, can also explain as to why is that resolution of Parliament, which was taken by the majority of our people here in Parliament, that we must cut the diplomatic ties with Israel and close the embassy of Israel, because we cannot share territory with murderers, with rapists and people who kidnap women and kill children and want to erode the Palestinian nation. So I'm asking, Mr. President, as to what is your reluctance, because that resolution was taken when you were the President of South Africa, committed to the people of Palestine. You must take practical action like Brazil did. Brazil said the ambassador of Brazil must be withdrawn completely
Honorable
from
member,
Israel.
your time
Why
is
are
up.
you scared to withdraw our embassy and close
Honorable
the Israeli
member,
embassy in
your
South Africa?
time
Thank
is
you.
up. Mr. President.
Honorable Masina, you don't have to read for that. Thank you.
Order, Honorable Malema. You can take those matters outside. They are not for the House. Honorable President.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Malema, no tla habotse o bolela dintho tse botse se re di dirang. Yaanong o nahana hore we are reluctant and cowardish and all that. That is not so. The executive has noted, fully noted what the National Assembly took a resolution on. And we have said, as we've been asked, that this matter is being considered, and we're also considering the various broad issues around it. Our support for the cause of the Palestinians is irrevocable, and we have articulated that here from time to time. And the various other aspects of putting pressure on Israel to do what is right by and for the Palestinians are matters that are being considered, and a number of proposals have been put forward. So be rest assured, Honorable Malema, that these are matters that the executive is considering. Now, of course, being who you are, impatient, you want everything to be done yesterday. I know that, but it is a matter that is being considered in a very active manner, and in due course we will be able to articulate precisely what the executive's response is to the resolution that was taken by the National Assembly. Thank you, Honorable Malema.
Thank you very much, Honorable President. We'll now ask Honorable Powell to ask her supplementary question.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. President, the Pact for the Future aims to accelerate progress towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Like many nations, South Africa is behind on its targets. The Democratic Alliance's economic justice policy offers a data-driven approach to fast-tracking these goals by shifting away from race-based economic policy. Instead, it proposes prioritizing companies that make the greatest socio-economic input as measured by the SDGs when competing at equal levels of price and functionality. Would the executive be open to considering this evidence-based proposal as a pathway towards meeting our SDG commitments, even if it involves rethinking narrow, race-based empowerment policies?
Mr. President.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to believe that the honorable member is clearly aware of what our Constitution says about us as a nation having to redress the imbalances, the inequalities of the past. That is clearly articulated in our Constitution. And even the preamble to our Constitution speaks to that. Now, honorable member ascribes what one would say is redressing the imbalances of the past to being race-based empowerment policies. I would say, with the greatest respect, when you redress the imbalances of the past and deal with the ugly past that this country was subjected to, you have to take demonstrable actions. And our Constitution says some of those must be legislative. Clearly set out in our Constitution that we've got to take legislative actions and a whole number of other means and initiatives to ensure that the ugly past that we have come from becomes a shadow of our past. And through that, yes, there's got to be empowerment. And that empowerment is not only based on the color of people's skins. It is also based on things such as regionality, where people have originated from. It is also based on gender. The women of our country were forever suppressed and they lived under poverty and inequality. And I then wonder whether by just continuing as normal as it was done in the past, whether we would ever be able to uplift the women of our country, the young people of our country, people who live in rural areas, and indeed the black people of our country. It has become globally well accepted that you've got to take active steps to deal with a past that holds us back from moving forward to the future. And this is a precept that is clearly articulated in our Constitution. I would not know how one deals with it. And the difference with what we're doing now is what they did in the past. In the past, those who ruled this country were blatant racists. They were unashamed, they were unapologetic, they just, on a race basis, just suppressed the majority and advanced the interests of a minority. In this country, we are advancing the interests of all. And I think it is disingenuous. It really is disingenuous to then say, as we advance the interests of all our people, from a regional point of view, gender point of view, youth point of view, and yes, national group point of view, that in itself works against the development and the attainment of our sustainable development goals. I can say without any equivocation, we will not depart from the path that we have embarked upon for empowerment and transformation. That is something that I will put up here clearly because it is in our Constitution. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. President.